A Wink News exclusive, all new at 5. The family of a missing kayaker refuses to give up. Only Wink News talks with them as they take the search effort into their own hands.
A car plows into a building in downtown Fort Myers, leaving a gaping hole right where people were trying to work. All new at 5 o'clock. Wink News uncovers what caused the car to go off course.
And breaking tonight, an anxiously awaited movie being pulled from theaters for fear of a terror attack. Wink News reveals the latest in the Sony hackers investigation.
Wink News begins with breaking news.
Breaking first on Wink News at 5, a dramatic change unfolding right now between the United States and Cuba. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Safadi.
And I'm Lois Tomei. Just hours ago, President Barack Obama announced after more than 50 years, America is reigniting its diplomatic relationship with Cuba.
The change is part of the deal to release Alan Gross, an American held captive in Cuba for 5 years. This is some new video of his return to American soil this afternoon.
Bells rang at churches on the island nation just 90 miles south of Florida. President Obama says the U.S. will ease embargo restrictions and open an embassy in Cuba.
Wink News has complete team coverage of the impact all across the country.
Wink News anchor Amanda Hall is in Miami right now, but we go first to Craig Boswell live in Washington, D.C.
Chris and Lois, good evening to you. High-level talks leading to today's surprise announcement began in the spring of 2013. Alan Gross, the U.S. subcontractor being held in Cuba since 2009, found out yesterday he was going to be freed. After 5 years as a prisoner in Cuba, Alan Gross is a free man.
This is great.
A U.S. plane picked up the 65-year-old Wednesday morning. His wife and the bowl of popcorn he'd been craving were waiting on board.
Today is the first day of Hanukkah, and I guess so far it's the best Hanukkah that I'll be celebrating.
Gross was working as a subcontractor for USAID, setting up internet access when he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. With his release on humanitarian grounds, President Obama announced a sweeping change in policy to normalize relations with Cuba for the first time in more than 50 years.
Neither the American nor Cuban people are well served by a rigid policy that's rooted in events that took place before most of us were born.
The U.S. plans to open an embassy in Havana, ease travel, and allow for more business between the two countries. But in a phone call to Cuban President Raul Castro, President Obama said the communist country needs to end the abuse of its citizens and allow freedom on the island. Several in Congress say that should have happened first.
I am in favor of normalizing relations with Cuba. But for that to happen, Cuba has to be normal. Cuba has to be a democracy.
Only Congress can completely end the embargo against Cuba, in place since 1961. And by the way, that phone call between President Obama and Raul Castro lasted between 45 minutes to an hour, the first direct talks between a U.S. president and a Cuban leader since before the Cuban Revolution. Chris and Lois.
Craig, what can you tell us about the long-held travel restrictions? Does that mean people are going to be able to start taking trips to Cuba?
Oh, no. Right now, the tourism travel ban, travel tourism remains prohibited to Cuba. And again, all of the travel, the other bans and the embargoes, that's all codified in legislation. That would have to go through Congress to lift the embargo.
All right, thank you very much. Craig Boswell reporting live for us from Washington, D.C. Now, today's decision has sparked debate among lawmakers in Washington.
We spoke with both of the senators from Florida, Senator Nelson and Marco Rubio, about the move. Here it is.
The proof is in the pudding as to whether or not Castro will allow the Cuban people to be free and to freely express themselves. I support this move. I think it's important to bring us into the 21st century, but it's going to be dependent upon this Castro regime that has been nothing but a brutal dictatorship.
What these changes are going to do is they will tighten this regime's grip on power for decades to come. And it will significantly set back the hopes of freedom and democracy for the Cuban people.
Wink News is committed to complete team coverage of the changing Cuban relationship with the United States. Our crews are talking with people here in Southwest Florida to get their reactions into the news. We'll have that for you tonight on Wink News at 5:30. Meanwhile, a Wink News exclusive tonight right here at 5. Today, family and friends were back out searching for a kayaker who disappeared on Friday night.
Rescue crews called off their search for 32-year-old Andrew Barber on Monday, but his loved ones aren't giving up yet. Today, the girl Andrew had been dating sat down exclusively with Wink News reporter Megan Contreras.
Obviously devastated, really devastated. You know, the person that you talk to every single day is suddenly not there to talk to.
The loved ones of missing kayaker Andrew Barber are living a real-life nightmare.
It's hard to keep the faith, but we definitely are keeping positive, and we want to keep his name out there and keep people looking for him.
Mackenzie Kirk has been dating Barber for the last 7 months and tells Wink News when he disappeared Friday night, he was doing what he loved.
He loved kayaking. Was one of the first things he told me when we met.
Barber and a friend were heading to Picnic Island when their kayak capsized. The friend was able to swim back to shore, but Barber hasn't been seen since.
We know that he is doing his best, that he did his best to hang on. And
they remember a guy seen in these pictures full of life and are still trying to piece together this unthinkable tragedy.
You instantly just love him. He's got great personality.
For days, they have covered an extensive search area for any sign of Barber.
On Saturday, I was hoping for a quick return, that he was going to be found, that he had just been carried out a ways.
Looking on Sanibel, Fort Myers Beach, in Naples, Bonita Springs, and even St. James City, making sure no stone is left unturned.
It is so important for us to have his name out there, for everyone to remember Andrew, remember what he looks like.
Reporting in Lee County, Megan Contreras, Wink News.
Barber's family and friends say they will not give up the search until he's found. They tell Wink News they'll be back on the water tomorrow.
Well, take a look at this video just into the Wink newsroom. A Christmas tree fire at a Southwest Cape Coral home causes $75,000 worth of damage. It happened yesterday evening. Officials say the fire started when the surge protector sparked, igniting the tree. No one was home at the time, but the family can't stay there. The Red Cross is putting them in a hotel for now.
What a day it turned out to be on Wall Street. Word that the Federal Reserve would be patient when it comes to raising interest rates sent stocks soaring today. The Dow ended up 288 points. The Nasdaq gained 96 and change. The S&P up more than 40 points, the largest increase in more than a year.
Wink News is just getting started. Still ahead, brand new in this half hour. The state still has to come up with rules for low THC medical marijuana. Families are desperately waiting for the drug, and the deadline is looming.
And right after the break, what was once a Fort Myers law office is now a trail of debris. Wink News shows you the path of destruction that an alleged drunk driver left behind.
Mostly clear sky if you have any evening plans. Looks pretty dry, but high clouds are approaching and they will arrive. I'll tell you what to expect coming up on Wink News.